Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the wrong button. Welcome back to the greatest live show of all time. That is right, everybody. Now, today, I decided, you know what? Fuck it. We're gonna be talking about, two of my, absolute favorite people on the platform. Rose Mulet and PollyPeople. So, for those of you who don't know who these individuals are, long story short, what's the best way of explaining it? So, who should I explain first? PollyPeople is a deranged lunatic that has accused me, yes, me, yours truly, of being a white supremacist Nazi, because get this, I believe that, this is going to be a really hot take, I believe that you can be racist against anybody, and that racism is bad. Yeah, no, I know! Incredible! That's my hot take that she thinks makes me a white supremacist, is that you shouldn't be racist to anybody, and that you can be racist to anyone, at least interpersonally. Apparently that makes me a white supremacist. Rose Mulet, on the other hand, is somebody that has been a staunch defender of rapists. And what I mean by that is she genuinely believes that women shouldn't defend themselves from rapists because it might hurt the rapist. That is her actual position. I'm not even joking. That's not an exaggeration. That's not a straw man. That is what she actually believes. Now, apparently, and I didn't know about this, this was from 2022, these two interesting specimens had a debate on the PollyPeople YouTube channel, which is very interesting. Now, who do I think is going to be more unhinged? I'm not sure yet. I'm guessing Rose Mulet. And the reason I say that is because Rose Mulet is, she comes across as somebody that's more likely to have like an actual mental breakdown, right? Like that's her kind of delusional mental illness, right? She's the type of person to be emotionally invested and have an actual mental breakdown. Whereas PollyPeople is more I guess she's more like a sniveling, dishonest, bad faith, disingenuous piece of shit, whose main goal is to label anyone who even slightly disagrees with her as a white supremacist Nazi. Again, including yours truly. How's life, Femyoz? I don't know any of these people. Hello, mutated cutie, haven't seen you in a while. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, these people are unhinged. Now, maybe they actually have a good debate. I don't know. I literally have not seen this. And, yeah, let's get started. So, the video in question is called Debate with Rose Mulet, and then the date that they had the debate on. So, without further ado, let's get started.
I'm so sorry, I accidentally muted myself. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, do you want me to go on camera?
Yeah, it's your call. I can turn my camera off if you don't want to turn yours on. It's fine either way. What's your decision?
Oh, would you? I don't care either way. I could do it either way.
All right.
If mine going on like hinders yours, then let me know and I won't do it.
Hello, Nifty Narfy. Nifty Narfy, welcome to the stream. I thought I pronounced your name wrong for a second. I don't know why.
It doesn't. It's fine however you want to do it.
Okay. I might just put my makeup for like the first 5-10 minutes. Is that okay? Is that weird?
No, I totally understand. We are on the same page with that. Yeah, no, I spent an unreasonable amount of time.
Oh god, she looks awful. Oh no.
You can see me,
doing
right?
makeup. Yeah, I can see.
Why is her hair so greasy?
Thank you. I'll turn this back on. All right, here we go.
Yesterday I did a bunch.
Oh, wait, did she say she got out of the shower? That makes sense.
You can see me,
doing
right?
makeup. Yeah, I can see you. Thank you. I'll turn this back on. All right, here we are.
Yesterday I did a bunch of conversations.
I hope she said she just got out of the shower. I'm assuming she
It
did.
was just nice to just like, yeah.
Well, I happen to have a moment to look at. So, stream, everybody, this is, how do I say, Rose Mulet?
Rose Mulet.
Rose Mullet.
Hey, Mulet.
Mulet.
It's not mullet. It's not mallet. It's not mullet.
All right.
It's Mulet.
All right, and you're a trans woman.
I am, yeah.
And you have had some, my stream knows you because we watched a couple of.
Bro, stop. She needs to stop doing this on her face. Like, no wonder why she's so fucking greasy. Holy shit.
Things with you. We watched your debate with Vaush, and we watched another debate you had with some trans dude. I forgot his name. And I'll tell you what.
Some Malcolm guy?
Yeah, there you go, Malcolm. Malcolm something.
You'll tell me what?
Oh,
Or did she say she was putting makeup on? Is that how you put makeup on?
well, I mean, you got some spicy ass takes, so I wanted to at least chat with you a couple of them. And you seem rather proud of it. And also, I do appreciate you calling yourself a trans medicalist instead of running from the.
Oh, never mind. I think she's putting makeup on. I thought she was just like doing this like as like a stress thing. I'm like, what?
Running from the label, because most trans medicalists.
Why would I be
don't
afraid of the label? There's nothing wrong with it. Like,
Well, we'll see.
I mean, in terms of the label, I mean, it's just a way of categorizing a certain set of beliefs. But this is what I mean when I say that, like, I don't. Rose Mulet doesn't come across as dishonest. She just comes across as unhinged, right? Whereas I'd say PollyPeople is more like I don't know if I'd say dishonest. Like, I think she's genuinely delusional, but like, I think she's I don't know how to put it.
People that run from it probably know it's not super defensible, but before we get into that, I do want to say I'm gonna try to like approach this. So my chat is used to me having a specific type of debate discussion, and I'm kind of aggressive, but I don't usually debate other trans people. So I'm gonna see if we can understand each other for a little bit. Yeah, no, I don't.
Hey.
She's an aggressive debater who won't debate me.
if you wind up getting more mad at me than the transphobes, then that's just going to be interesting. Because I think that happened when I debated Keffals. She was like really mad at me, and I'm just like, why aren't you this mad at transphobes and you're mad at a trans girl who slightly disagrees with you? Like, come on.
Well, I can understand that because it's sort of, you know, it's frustrating because we think that trans people should know better. But I want to judge you based on what you're saying. Well, let me just ask you, like, what did Keffals take issue with most about what you were saying?
Pretty much agreed with her that like the Republican law, or not the Republican, but like the laws against trans people were bad. But I was still trying to say like Republicans aren't evil and we're gonna be okay. It's like a little scary, but like.
But they are evil. I'm sorry. Like the Republican politicians are evil. Maybe the voters aren't evil. Like they're just misled. But yeah, the politicians are fucking evil. I'm sorry.
I was basically. There's this weird fear-mongering thing going on. You saw that in the Vaush debate.
Right.
It's like everyone acts like it's so. There's some scary stuff going on. I just think people hype it up a little too much. Like,
No, it wasn't being hyped up too much. I mean, you have to keep in mind that when actual legislation is being passed against trans people, like that's pretty scary. And that shit was really bad in 2022. Like there were so many new laws being passed against trans people. So her downplaying that is kind of sad and pathetic.
It seem like worse than it actually is. And I think we need to just calm down. We're gonna be okay.
Yeah.
I think it was just really bad.
Honestly, I think there's like a decent chance that PollyPeople comes across as reasonable in this debate, just because of how unhinged Rose Mulet is.
It was so interesting. I don't know if she's gonna upload it. I hope she does.
Ohio Republicans are about to ban adult trans healthcare law, but sure, they're not evil. Yeah, exactly. Yuki Ichigo. I hope that's how you pronounce your name. Exactly. But no, they're not evil. They just want us all to not have rights and fucking die. But no, that's not evil.
She said she would.
2024 is going to be worse. I hope not.
Well, right. I think the idea that I mean, I don't think. Yeah, like, I think you can't know whether or not you're going to be okay in this. I think telling people it's going to be, hopefully most people will not hear.
Yeah, it's going to be okay as you literally lose your right to fucking necessary medical care. Yeah, no, it's going to be fine. Enjoy being forced to detransition, bitch.
Hear what you say and be like, oh, okay. Well, then she said it. I'm going to believe it. Because if you're looking at it objectively, like they're doing some pretty extreme things with trans people, right? Particularly, but they're doing extreme things in all areas. It's just they're being super extreme with trans people. Like, in a world.
I'm dumb as fuck. I thought you were saying PollyPeople as in dating multiple people. No. That's like the name of her channel.
Where we're being, legislated out of existence. You transitioned as a minor, right?
I did, yeah.
So like, it's surprising that that you wouldn't even see what's already been passed and be screaming from the rooftops that this is not good.
There's some scary laws. Like, if they're trying to ban trans kids from transitioning, I'm like highly against that. Like, obviously I transitioned at 14. My only regret was not transitioning younger. So,
yeah, and then there's people that are trying to make that so that can't be the case. So, like, what?
Yeah, I'll say that. I'm totally pro trans kids. I just don't think the solution to that is to call Republicans evil. I don't think that really gets the job done.
Okay, so sure, it's not going to single-handedly get the job done, but what solution do you actually propose? What would be an alternative solution that is like, not only would she have to propose some sort of alternative solution, but that alternative solution and calling Republicans evil would also have to be mutually exclusive. That's the only argument she'd be able to make for why calling Republican politicians evil would be bad. Or she would have to demonstrate some sort of harm caused by calling Republican politicians evil. She cannot do either of these two things.
What would you do?
I think the law is just about everyone else thinks it is. Like, yeah.
What do you think everybody... Wait, sorry. Say that again?
No, I think the law is just as bad as everyone else thinks it is. I just don't think that it means conservatives are, like, evil.
So if people don't want us to have the right to have necessary medical care, that makes us... like, you do realize that trans people will kill themselves at a much higher rate if they don't have access to the necessary medical care that they need. I feel like that's a pretty evil thing to be okay with. I feel like in order to not only be okay with that, but to go out of your way to make it that way, you have to be a terrible person.
Well, it's like, I don't know. There's things we can do instead of, like, villainizing half the country. I don't think that's a really productive way of going about things.
Okay, well, we'll get to that in a second. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to describe, the legislation that they're passing. How would you describe, then, the legislation that they're passing? Like, for example, taking away trans kids from their parents for treating them properly. Like, how would you say that's not evil?
What state is this being passed in? Is that, like, actually, like...
That's already law in Texas. That's the law in Texas.
I love how she just doesn't even know that. It's like, oh yeah, why are we calling them evil? Literally doesn't even know any of the fucking laws that are being passed. Hasn't done an ounce of research before the debate.
Really?
Yes.
I heard something like that. That would be really weird. I don't...
Yeah, it sure fucking would!
I don't doubt you. That's a very weird law. Hold on, let me look this up.
Yeah!
Trans
sure is! Law. She's so stupid!
Yeah, that's very odd. I don't like the narrative being spun by people that it's like child abuse and like. But here's the thing that bothers me though. It's like,
yeah, astute observation.
A lot of the times these laws aren't even like super popular. Like, I don't think the majority of people. This is like,
yeah, well they get passed anyway, you dumb piece of shit. So yeah, I think it's fair to call the Republican politicians evil when they pass laws that are fucking evil. Like, those laws being unpopular doesn't make the Republican politicians passing those laws any less evil. Oh no. Oh my god, she's so stupid. See, this is... oh my god. Yeah, I think that Rose Mulet is definitely more of a lolcow than Polly. Bruh, it's over. Why is she showing up not knowing the topic she's talking about? Yeah, literally. She does this every single debate. Like, she literally has no clue what she's talking about.
It's like a very small minority of people who are doing this. Like, they could be doing actual stuff instead.
It's the state of Texas. That's not a...
No, I'm saying the politicians. I don't think the politicians represent, like, the majority of people in Texas, like, what they believe. Like, I visited Texas.
Yeah, okay, when we say that Republicans are evil, we're talking about the politicians. Those are the people that are passing the laws. So whether or not those laws are popular is not what determines whether or not the Republican politicians passing those laws are evil. They don't suddenly become less evil if people disagree with them. That doesn't make any fucking sense. That has nothing to do with whether or not they're evil. If the proposition is that Republican politicians are not evil, if that's Rose Mulet's take, then what the fuck does whether or not people agree with... in fact, if anything, people disagreeing with them, if the vast majority of people, if their entire constituency fucking despises them and disagrees with them, wouldn't that be an argument in favor of Republican politicians being evil? Wouldn't Rose Mulet be providing an argument against her actual proposition here? She should stick to making music. I don't think her music is particularly good. I'm sorry. She has about as good of a chance at making it in the music industry as Cyrax. Chance Cyrax Wilkins II. Oh Lord, Rose versus Polly. Rose's entire debate strategy is give me attention. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I want attention. And not even in a cute, cool cat ears way. Yeah, exactly. Like, okay, at least when I'm attention hungry, I do it in a way where it's like, I'm self-aware and like, it's like, people know what's up. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not serious, right? I don't go in having a serious debate. Being disliked doesn't mean you're evil, but you're right, they definitely are. Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying that being disliked makes them more evil. I'm just saying that if it's a supporting argument for either side, that would be the side that it would support, right? So if a politician's entire constituency is against what they're doing and they're doing it anyway, on top of the fact that there's no benefit to what they're doing, on top of the fact that what they're doing actually causes substantial harm to the people that are actually affected by it, yeah, I think that would be an argument in favor of Republican politicians being fucking evil.
Texas before. I thought, before I went there, that it was just like a bunch of, hillbillies, country people. And I went there, it was actually like, they were kind of liberal.
Yeah, it's almost like different parts of Texas have different demographics. So yeah, if you go to Austin, Texas, it's going to be a lot more liberal than if you go out in the middle of buttfuck nowhere in some random rural area. Like, yeah, no shit.
And I was like kind of shocked. Like, I don't know. Like, I think most people in Texas probably aren't as extreme as like these people who are currently in power.
Most people don't believe anything that strongly in terms of actual political positions. Like, most people aren't that involved politically. Like most people have like the most surface level analysis and understanding of politics.
So I think it's more of an issue with politicians than like the population at large.
So if her proposition is that being a Republican voter does not necessitate you are an evil person, she would be correct, right? If that's her if that's her actual proposition, right? And but again, when somebody says that Republicans are evil, they're not referring to some dumb fuck redneck voter who doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about in terms of politics. Like, that's not what they're referring to. They're referring to the people that are actually in power. Like, that's what when we talk about Republicans, we're talking about politicians most of the time. Because those are the people that actually have some sort of impact. I don't care what Joe Schmo who voted for Donald Trump down the street has to say. I care what people who are in power are not only saying, but doing. You look lovely today, Femyoz. Why, thank you. Very much appreciated. This is today's outfit, by the way. Hell yeah. In case you were wondering. But yeah. Are you in power? No, not necessarily. Or actually, yeah, I do control the deep state. Rose Mulet is a wannabe Miss Piggy. No, she's literally just Miss Piggy.
Some weird propaganda online, though.
So what would have to happen for you to recognize that they're really trying to eliminate trans people? Like, would they have to come out and say it?
Well, no, I think this law is pretty scary. I'm not gonna lie. I'm glad I don't live in Texas. I think that.
So all PollyPeople has to do here, and like Polly does come across as like the more reasonable person in this discussion. Like I don't think she's doing anything like wrong necessarily, at least not yet. Maybe she's gonna be unhinged a little bit later. I mean, she does have a tendency to do that. But I think that the most effective thing she can do here is just point out the fact that there's like a distinction between Republican voters and Republican politicians, and that when she says Republican, she's mainly referring to Republican politicians and Republican values / ideals, right? We're not talking about individual people unless we're talking about politicians that have actual policy positions that they're trying to implement, right? Like, I'm not, like, nobody's interested in whether or not Joe Schmo down the street is evil because he voted for Donald Trump in 2016, right? Like, okay, like, is it good that he voted for Donald Trump? No, it's bad. It causes, it contributes to harm, right? But that being said, when we're talking about Republicans being evil, we're mainly talking about politicians and the ideas they spew being evil. You trashed Polly early on, but so far I agree with everything she's saying. Oh, no. I don't disagree with what she's saying. I'm literally just, I guess I'm giving an argument that's, like, more efficient, that gets to the point faster. Because when you debate somebody like Rose Mulet, you have to keep in mind that she's like extremely weaselly, and Polly is good against that in terms of being an aggressive debater, but she's not pinning Rose down on very specific points the way that I did. Like, there's a reason that in my debate with Rose Mulet, remember, for anyone that remembers the Femboy debate, like, she got fucking bodied. Like, I destroyed her. She's fucking horrible against me. Like, there are people she's done less bad against who are way better than me at debate. So, again, I guess I'm the ultimate Rose Mulet destroyer in terms of arguments in the free marketplace of ideas.
We should be fighting to overturn that law, and all.
Come stirred and dumpstered. I need to rewatch that debate. Yeah, that debate was really fucking funny. Oh my god. But yeah, no, I'm not like trying to shit on Polly. I'm just giving more of like a like an analysis in terms of like what could be done better rhetorically. I do this for people that I like. I'll even do it for somebody like Vaush. I mean, not as often with Vaush because Vaush is really effective in like a rhetorical sense. But yeah, I'll usually give like additional arguments or like be like, okay, like if I was in this debate, here's what I would have said, and here's why I think it's more effective, right? But yeah. And Jalen, we've got Jalen in chat. Let's go. Hey Femyoz, your voice is so much more femme since I last heard you. Why, thank you, John B, and I'm glad you noticed. What was her position during the debate? Rose Mulet? Her position is that femboys existing is transphobic, unironically, and that cross-dressing is bad because apparently that means that you can't. It means that people will ask her for her pronouns, which she doesn't like because she wants everybody to be able to tell. It's fucking stupid. It's so dumb.
All these other like transphobic laws, but I think that that's an issue with like the people in power, and there's a way to separate the people in power with like the actual like everyday conservatives who probably don't even believe it, or that's
so. But that's exactly why I gave the response that I did there, right? And why it would have been better if PollyPeople had said that, because what you would be doing is well, and I'm sure she's gonna acknowledge that, right? Because at that point you're steel manning Rose Mulet's argument and then explaining why it's wrong, right? That's like the point, right? Is whether or not the conservative populace is evil or whatever. Like an individual conservative is evil, I guess. Like as a collective, okay, they're a force for bad. You could say that the collective is evil, but that the individual people aren't evil, right? There can be like a machine that's evil, but the individual cogs in the machine aren't evil, right? They just are cogs in the machine, right? Maybe a similar concept there. And maybe PollyPeople could use that analogy. Not gonna lie, by her transmed logic, if people need to ask her to tell if she's a girl, then she's losing. Big L, major L, completely over L. Also, transmedicalism is an L. Oh, I agree with that, but I don't even think that anybody's asking for her pronouns under most circumstances. Like, she passes very well as a cis woman. She just passes as, like, a really ugly and fat one. Like, it's...
That's the funny thing. It's like, I kind of wish that there could be more, that we could reason with these people more. Because it's like, they could be doing so much better. They could be doing stuff to actually help these people's lives. And instead they go on with this. Like, nobody really wanted this. I mean, I guess some people did, but this wasn't, like, anyone's, like, #1 issue, and if it was your...
So what does this have to do with the actual proposition? Like, when people say that Republicans are evil, what do you think they mean by that? Like, that's the question that Polly should be asking Rose Mulet right off the bat. When people say that Republicans are evil, what do you think they actually mean? Because the answer is not that every single individual Republican voter is an intrinsically evil person. They could be an okay person or whatever the fuck. Not evil, just okay. They're okay, I guess. They exist. That their heart's in the right place. They're just stupid, right? Being stupid doesn't make you evil, right? But stupid people can contribute to harm, right? However, Republicans are evil in the sense that A, Republican politicians are abso-fucking-lutely evil, and B, Republicans as an aggregate cause evil things to be done. They contribute to evil, right? The cogs in the machine individually aren't evil, but the machine itself is evil. They're evil because they continually try to ban things without proving they're actually harmful. Oh yeah, absolutely.
#1 issue is like, have you seen the inflation? Have you seen the gas prices recently?
So-
why are y'all focusing on this? Like,
So I feel like
Yeah.
like you don't know how fascism works. So the way fascism works is a generally not majority population decides they want to take power. There's a
So I agree with everything Polly is saying here. I just wish that they I just wish that she was able to, like, I guess, pinpoint the specific proposition, right? If that makes sense. I guess, pin Rose Mulet on very specific arguments and force her to stick to her initial proposition and explain what I just explained, right? Because here's the thing, is that even though Polly is correct in her analysis and in terms of everything she's saying so far, this is just going to allow Rose to sort of pussyfoot around her actual proposition, right? You're allowing her to not defend, or yeah, you're allowing her to avoid defending her actual proposition, right? And that's not good, right? Rose is one of the weaseliest motherfuckers. So you really have to be very specific in terms of the arguments you make. You have to be very specific in terms of how you engage, or else she's going to go on a whole side tangent about a bunch of irrelevant shit.
significant amount of the population that wants, that doesn't really care about democratic values or decision making. So one good way to get people riled up is to create enemies,
Pretty loose fascism definition, not gonna lie. Screw the majority. I mean, yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, she's giving this definition in the context of explaining how, despite some of these positions being unpopular in terms of what the actual, like, a population believes, like the general population, the constituency, right? Fascists in power are going to do whatever the fuck they want anyways, right? Can Polly not dress like that? Oh, like this? I mean, I guess she can dress however she wants. I mean, I don't think she looks particularly good, but, I mean, I guess I can't judge because I too wear stripy socks. I mean, I feel like if I wore it, it might look good. I don't know. I'm not sure. I've never worn that specific outfit, is what I'll say. I guess the main issue is that I don't have boobs. I'm too early in my transition.
For example, minority populations, trans people, CRT, and pass laws that if you look at them objectively make no sense. Like they're trying to redefine child abuse such that parents that engage in treating their children are the abusers, and the parents that gaslight their kids into
Why you gotta do her dirty in the thumbnail? Who, Rose or Polly?
into going back in the closet, thus suffering, a lifetime of trauma, are the ones that are doing good. When you start, when the government starts telling you under law,
is disgusting. I agree with you.
And that's not the only law that's like this. In fact, I don't think Texas is the only state that's now redefining their child abuse laws. And they're making it illegal to even treat kids. Like when up is down and down is up.
See, this is what I mean, is there's like this disconnect here, right? This is why you need to specifically pinpoint certain arguments, sort of like I described, right? Otherwise, there's just going to be this disconnect. It's like they're talking past each other, right?
I don't think you can say, gee whiz, I wish I could reason with these people.
Rose, Polly just kind of looks like that. Yeah. I I couldn't help myself from doing it. Anyways. She looks like a candy cane themed hooker that preys on drunk men. Holy shit, you're so right. You're so right. Oh my god. I can't unsee it. I can't unsee it. Oh my no. Oh my god. Oh no. Holy shit.
I just think that if these people, like when you said, first of all, do you think that they're gonna, do you think the natural logical conclusion is that they're gonna put trans kids into a camp? Do you think that that's gonna happen?
Hold on, you don't have to literally put people into a camp in order to commit a genocide. Like, if you take away necessary medical care, then yeah, people are gonna fucking die from that. If you don't let people with diabetes have insulin if they need insulin, they're gonna fucking die. You don't have to put them in camps to kill them. Like, if you banned insulin in order to decrease the fat population, would that not be genocide? I mean, I don't know. I mean, at that point, because at that point, you're doing something to remove a certain category of people. A category of people that have immutable characteristics, might I add. Right?
That.
She looks like a melting Christmas candle.
That's my question, because you mentioned fascism.
Yeah.
Is that what's next?
They're not going to stop.
What do you mean, is that what's next? That's what's current. The policy positions currently that Republican politicians are proposing are fascist.
There are... Okay, so we live in a presumptive democracy right now, right? But somehow in this world, you can eliminate trans kids and no one gives a fuck. In fact, people are for it. Why? Because there's not really that many of us. We're easily demonizable. People think we're weird.
This is actually
scary.
true.
And so, we are treated as subhuman, and that's, where does that go? You think they just stop at, changing the child abuse laws, or do you think they keep pushing it in order to maintain their political support?
This is a good argument from Polly. She's absolutely correct. Howdy, bottom. Yes, shut up. I'm not a bottom. You're a bottom. Bottom. Fuck you. I'm not the bottom. I'm the top in the relationship.
And how do you think the populace reacts? The populace always... January 6th happened because Trump talked a lot of shit and his hogs listened. Imagine passing a law saying trans people are horrible. Do you think that's going to have...
Well, not just saying that trans people are horrible, but that they should not be able to have access to medical care that is life-saving.
Where does that go?
I wish they made HRT that doesn't give you boobs. You mean For like femboys specifically. Yeah, that'd be cool. I don't know. I mean, I want boobs. I might end up going on progesterone to get massive mommy milkers. Hardest cap of 2024. What? Me saying I'm not a bottom? That's not cap.
Go, you know?
I'll tell you, okay?
Okay.
Objectively speaking, I'm reading about this law now. If this is true, this is genuinely
It is true. You're just learning about this now.
some of the like horrifying stuff that I've ever seen when it comes to this stuff. But
Hey, what's wrong with being a bottom? Well, it's not that there's anything wrong with it. It's just people keep bullying me. People keep bullying me.
most of the laws, like I look at the general discourse of socially how it progressed. Like so many people who are like on Twitch or in general who are like trans like positive, like 5 years ago they were transphobic or like they didn't understand it fully. But in like these past 2 years, people have just become so much more accepting. But obviously with that awareness comes people who come out of the woodworks. You know a ton about. Can you hold on 1 second?
You want big mommy milkers for your tough to play with? Shut up. Nuh-uh.
Hold on, I'm sorry, AirPod issue. Hold on.
That's okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. So these people didn't really like. There's also some people who didn't know or didn't care about trans issues, and now they're like transphobic, and that's why you're seeing this wave that's happening currently. It's the initial awareness wave. It's a bit worrying. I think 5-10 years from now, we'll see that things are going to be much better than they are now. This is my.
Okay, how do things get better in the first place? Like, things don't just magically get better over time, right? There's a reason that sometimes things get better, right? It's because people do stuff to make it better, right? Civil rights didn't just appear out of thin fucking air. You had political activists that were considered a very far left at the time that were advocating for change.
My personal opinion. And I feel like I've just, being trans since like 2014, I feel.
It's okay, buddy. They bully me too, but you give Switch vibes. Let's go. Let's go. Switch vibes. Yeah, you're a Switch. You switch between bottom and super bottom. Shut up. No, I don't.
Feel pretty confident that we're going to be okay. I'm looking at this law. I just don't know, like, has anyone's like family actually like been taken away because of this yet? Is this a law that's like going to take effect in the future? Because that's what I don't want to speak about it because I don't know. I've never.
Yeah, I mean,
you don't want to speak about it because you don't know. Bitch, you speak about issues you know nothing about all the fucking time. But now suddenly, because this is inconvenient, you don't want to speak about it. They get better by us removing Republicans from office. But I don't think Rose will consider that. Just a guess. Yeah, literally. Super bottom mode detected. Shut up. I'm not a bottom.
the answer is yes, but like, okay, do you understand that maybe my reaction might be, well, okay, so one of the laws that is being raised when we say Republicans are demons straight from the bowels of hell, when we correctly say that, one of the things we point to is a law like this. And you don't even know you didn't even know until a second ago the law existed. So why should we listen to what your opinion is?
I don't think most people don't either. Most Republicans.
Yeah, she's absolutely right. Like, if you don't even know what Republicans are advocating for, then shut the fuck up.
Republicans probably don't know.
Right, so why do you, so like it, huh? So like it makes sense though, we're screaming, we're like, look at what these people are doing. So sometimes we have to use we have to.
I think Rose in her mind is still stuck on the point of, I guess Rose would be sticking to her initial proposition more than Polly here. Because when she responded with that, the average Republican wouldn't know that. She's talking about the average Republican individual. So she is correct in terms of making the distinction. She's incorrect in saying that Republicans aren't evil. Right? When we're talking about Republicans, we're talking about a collection of ideas and politicians and specific policies, right? And when you combine all of that, you get a very evil machine known as the GOP, all right? That's what you get. Not gonna lie, if anything, I imagine Femyoz is the submissive top. You need someone to tell him what to do. That's just like a shut up. No, I don't. Okay, maybe I do. I guess technically, I'd be I'd be like the... I don't know. Femyoz, will you please listen? I'm not a bottom. Everyone, Femyoz is a bottom. Femyoz isn't a bottom because bottoms admit when they're wrong. Well, I'm never wrong, so... I don't know, you wouldn't be able to base it off of that.
We have to be hyperbolic because people are not paying attention.
This
Does
is
that
true.
make sense?
I think you can get people to pay attention while stating the facts of the case. Like, I think if people are just honest about
Well, the facts of the case are that Republican politicians are fucking evil.
what's going on and being like, this is scary because they're planning on doing this because this is what the law says, I think people can be like, okay, but when you say Republicans are all evil, I think people like they turn their brains off and they're not exactly willing to listen, because at that point it's like
Okay, so whether or not it's good or bad optics is an entirely separate argument. Again, you could say, oh, this is bad optics if you're talking to like the average American. You might want to specify Republican politician, right? Femyoz is top on the debate stage, but a mega bottom in the sheets. Okay, yeah, that's kind of true. Submissive mode on full display. Shut up.
most people are friends with someone who's conservative. Most, like, conservatives are half the population. I'm sure in all of our lives we met someone who's like, oh, they're conservative, but they were like a cool person, they're nice to me. So like when you say conservatives are evil, the automatic response in someone's head is like, wait a second, no, this person isn't in touch with reality. I'm just going to dismiss everything they have to say because they said that.
They won't
Like,
take.
So the correctness of an argument is not contingent upon whether or not people are willing to listen. So it could be the case that you can correctly state that Republicans are evil while it's still bad optics, right? That doesn't prove your proposition to be correct. It just means that if you're talking to like the average person, right? Like you'd want to frame it in a way that they'd be willing to listen to, right? I mean, it's just unlocked in the moment thinking, well, I'd only pull hair if they asked IDK maybe. Shut up.
Take a vaccine during a pandemic, or they think Trump won the election. Like, how is discourse gonna resolve like the occult brain shit?
yeah, I guess I would say it just sounds like typical CNN, MSNBC viewer. Like, I don't buy, like, I know that there's some scary stuff. Like, I got 3 doses of the vaccine, right? I personally take it, but I can understand why people are scared, right? Like, you know,
Why? Because needles hurt?
Stuff, like blood clot stuff. I mean, that can be a little scary. I took the vaccine. I think the vaccine was great. I didn't have any bad side effects. I knew.
Oh my god, this is so dumb. The correctness is contingent upon whether people will listen, which is why you're always wrong, because no one wants to listen to a bottom. Shut up! This is not fair. You're bullying me. It's not very nice. I'm gonna cry.
Knew someone who actually got an adverse reaction to the vaccine. It was someone who was like very liberal, and they said that didn't happen. It's like, okay, but I know someone in my personal life who that happened to. I got scared of that. I mean, I think it's a personal choice that people can make for themselves, but it's like, I'm pro-vaccine. I think for like 99.9% of cases, it's like completely fine and actually beneficial, and it can save your life. But you know, even if there is like a 1 in like 10, I don't know the exact statistics, but let's say there's like a 1 in.
Okay. But when you get the vaccine, you're not just protecting yourself, right? Because you're also less likely to actually get infected with COVID, right? Like, it doesn't prevent it entirely, but like, it definitely reduces the rate that you get infected, right? So it's gonna be the case that you're not just doing it for yourself, but you're doing it for other people, because if you don't get infected, because it decreases the chances, and there's a scenario in which you would otherwise get infected if you weren't vaccinated, then you could be potentially saving lives there, right? Just by simply getting vaccinated. Like, it's not that hard. Hey, a good top listens to the bottom. That's true. That's true.
And 10,000 chance of an adverse reaction. Maybe it's less than that. That's still a chance of it getting an adverse reaction. And I think most people are like scary. Whereas like COVID itself, it's like, it could happen, but it's not like, I don't know. It's a different kind of, it's probably the way that the brain is biological, even though one risk is like statistically safer than the other risk, and that's getting the shot being the safer and better option overall. I think there's like a flaw in our brains which wires a certain way. And I
Right.
empathize to that. People feel
Well,
that way.
okay, so like, yeah, people can be irrational, so why don't we just mandate it? Like, you're probably against that too, right? We're like, okay, you can't, you're just brain dead. We're gonna have to force you to do it.
I'm not against, like, here's the thing. In theory, I'm not against it if it can, like, because I'm pro-life, right? And if I want to be consistent in my beliefs, I would.
I forgot that she's pro-life. Oh, God. Which is Spanish for retarded.
Oh, that's right. You're pro-life. Don't let me forget that, chat. Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
All right, there we go.
Here's the thing. I have to be consistent in my beliefs. So if and I've said this before.
But you're not. You're literally not.
I'm pro-life and pro-vaccine because I'm consistent. It would be nice if you could, in theory, make everyone get a vaccine and make this freaking virus go away. I don't think it would make it go away. I think the cases would be less. I think the deaths would be less. I think it would be better for everybody. I think.
Okay, so if you think it would be better for everybody, then why wouldn't you be in favor of it?
The science doesn't say that it would just go away automatically. I think
it doesn't have to go away automatically for it to still be worthwhile. You're fucking brain dead. Oh my god. Ow, fuck.
We need to be honest and not pretend like this is gonna end the thing, and it's like the honesty helps, and like, I don't know, just.
Femyoz checked your Discord DMs. Your reaction determines your role, if top or bottom. I'm scared. Oh no. What is this gonna be? Alright, let's see. The boy your parents warned you about. What the fuck? Why are you fucking hot? What the This is not... Alright. Alright. We get it. You're fucking hot. You don't need to flex. Anyways. Sorry. Isn't Rose pro-life and anti-capital punishment, etc. as a part of her R-word kink? Yeah, I mean... I guess it is all consistent. It is very consistent with her R-word kink. Submissive top detected. Femyoz is too cute to be a top. Hey, so are you? I don't know. I don't even look. I'm not even that submissive, okay? I'm like I'm not that much of a bottom, okay? I'm like only like a little bit, okay? I'll concede only a little bit, all right? We'll do the enlightened centrist thing where it's like, why don't we just no, not why don't we resolve our differences, but yeah, I don't fuck. Let's just continue. This
like some of the media stuff. It's like I don't like the reason why I'm so iffy on it though is kind of like there are some iffy cases in abortion too, right? Like, you know, some people have genuine health effects. It's like some people are just not doing it because they don't want to do it. But it's like kind of the idea. But then it's like okay. But then it's like
this is what pisses me off about debating Rose Mulet is she can't stick to one proposition. Like she'll just say all of her hot takes, and it's like you have to have completely different forms of dialogue trees for each one. Right? So for abortion, like the dialogue tree that I go down usually is the one where it's like, okay, well, fetuses don't experience consciousness, so they don't. There's not like a single utilitarian argument you can make in favor of being anti-choice. Submissive and breeding, but by the way, split the difference. We can take turns. Look, I did. No, we're not doing this. I'm trying. Let's be real, a fetus is just cum getting stronger. Yeah, true. Like, there's no reason why a fetus would be intrinsically valuable. Like, I don't know what... Because I don't think Rosemary is, like, particularly religious either, right? Like, I'm guessing that the argument she would make is, like, the... well, this has the potential to be life kind of argument. But that doesn't really work because, like, a jar of cum also has the potential to become life. There's not, like, a reason that, like, once it becomes, like, like, as in, like, oh, well, this has the potential to become, like, a person. It's like, okay, well, not all life is, like, considered super valuable, right? So, like, if you chop down a tree, like, you're killing a living thing, right? Or, like, if you kill a mosquito, you kill a living thing, but you're not, like, you wouldn't be a murderer, right? Same kind of concept would apply here, right? So you have to isolate the variables, usually, in a debate like that. So you have to isolate, because, like, a pro-lifer will try to intertwine them in bad faith, usually, or if they're just stupid. So you have to isolate the variables and look at it from the lens of, okay, well, it's not a matter of whether or not something is alive, right? It has to, like, well, there's a reason that humans are categorically different from other animals as well. It's because of the consciousness we experience, right? Which is something that a fetus doesn't have, right? It doesn't have the capacity. And so that would be the first symmetry breaker. And the potential for life also doesn't work because, like, if you if you take birth control, for instance, or use contraceptives, right? You would also be you would be hindering the potential for life in that instance as well, right? So it's not a matter of whether or not you're preventing, or you'd be hindering the process of, like, a potential human being created, right? So in either case, you would be causing the you'd be preventing a person from existing in the future, right? That's generally the route that I go in an abortion debate. It's going to depend on who I'm debating. I haven't done an abortion debate in a while, but yeah.
It's like if you go to school, you have to get, like, the measles shot, or you have to get all these other shots. So it's like, it's not that different from that. So I kind of, I'm okay with it. I just, in theory, it would cause so much chaos and so much that I just don't think it's worth it to do so. But it's sad. I think that the Republicans are more victims than anything because they're the ones putting their own life at risk.
Let's be real, I already read that. The virgin, quote, fetuses don't have consciousness versus the chat. Even if fetuses and newborns did have consciousness, they still haven't acquired a moral personhood. Yeah, good fucking luck with that argument.
Because of their permissive.
Yeah, no, that's, like, a really... I know you're probably joking, but, like, yeah, no, you're not gonna convince anybody with that. It's like, oh... Any conservative could see that, and they're like, oh, so you just want to kill newborn babies? You're in favor of murdering babies because you don't want... So, like, if somebody gave birth and then 3 weeks later decided to, like, abandon their child on the street, you'd be okay with that? So, yeah.
Information, and I'm sad for them. It's a really sad thing to watch. I don't think that they're, like, murdering other people. I think that they're, like, hurting themselves only by not getting the shot.
Yeah, you don't think they ever pass it on to other people?
Yeah, exactly. Like, if you're more likely to get COVID, you're more likely to pass it on to other people, including other people that have the shot, right? So
they do, but not intentionally. You know, I mean.
Oh, okay. Except
right. So if you, like, accidentally run over somebody, like, it's not a bad thing because it was by accident. Like, if you accidentally hit somebody with your car because you were driving 50 miles an hour over the speed limit and went right through a red light over a pedestrian, and you killed somebody because you were drunk driving at 50 miles an hour over the speed limit. Like, it was just a silly little accident, so it doesn't matter. My approach to an abortion debate is list all the situations in which a fetus would die without the would-be mother getting an abortion. Also, you're a bottom. Yeah. Nah, I'm not that much of a bottom. Name one compelling reason not to euthanize a newborn straight out of the womb. Bioethics professors. Oh no, I'm not saying that like I'm necessarily even entirely in disagreement, but those are it's just if you're like debating people in the free marketplace of ideas, you have to like know who your audience is. But yeah, I do agree that those questions are interesting if you're in a room full of smart people and not conservatives.
Except for they intentionally spread a deadly disease, right? I mean, they chose not to get a vaccine. That's kind of intentional, right?
I think people are afraid, and I was afraid too. I was
Yeah,
afraid
right.
of getting the shot, but I got it. I mean, I got it when I was the first, as soon as I could get it.
I don't know why.
I was the guy.
I don't know why like right wingers are like willing to give like room for the bitch boy defense. Like, oh, I'm afraid. Well, get fucked. Get the vaccine, dude. Like you're fucking grown up.
I think you have to sympathize with people being afraid, all right? Like, I sympathize with the trans kids in Texas being afraid of that law. So why not throw sympathy for these people?
Well, for people that are afraid.
The fact that she would compare anti-trans bills to someone choosing to not get the vaccine, which puts other people at risk of dying, is fucking mind-boggling. Holy shit.
Afraid of something that is irrational to be afraid of, like that would cause it.
Oh, I think there are rational medical concerns. I don't think they're super common, but like I have like a lot of hypochondria. They scare me, and I think I had a valid reason. I'm not going to disclose my medical information.
Well,
but based on my medical past, I've had stuff that made me reasonably afraid of getting the vaccine. But whenever I told people about that, they would be like, "Oh, you're an anti-vaxxer." I'm like, "No, that's stupid." Like, when I got my shot, I talked to the people, and I was basically talking to them for like 5-10 minutes and wanting to like ask them questions about the side effects. And I never got like medical information. They were just like, "Oh, it's safe." And it's like, no, that's not what I'm asking you. I just want to be sure. And I still got the shot. And I was honest.
Well,
like, it was
right.
good for me. No side effects.
So like you were able to overcome your fear for the good of yourself and your community. People that are too much of a pussy to do that, well, people who are too much of a pussy to do that can get fucked, if you ask me. I don't care if they're crybabies. But anyway,
I'm just thinking if someone's like, they don't get the vaccine and then 6 months later they're like in an ICU, like,
and their whole
victim
household.
of that situation.
Sure. If it were only them, then that would be something else, right? But like that's not how diseases work.
Okay, Polly is surprisingly, I don't know, normal in this. I was expecting them to both be unhinged, to be honest. So, I guess I underestimated her.
Sad thing to watch. I mean, I don't know what to say. It's just really sad to see. Like,
yeah, it's more.
I think there's.
You understand? Okay, well, I'm gonna move on from this. The reason.
Yeah, we can move on. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I think the reason why people get upset and don't just fall back on the they're just killing themselves is because they're not, right? When you contract a communicable disease, particularly one that is as contagious as COVID, you're not just making yourself sick.
Okay, but then my response to that is if the vaccine was so effective, then why isn't it just like, well, I got the vaccine, so it doesn't matter about these unvaccinated people?
Well, not everybody can. Like there are people that have medical reasons why they can't get the vaccine, or like there are some people.
Well, Rose, you already stated that it simply reduces the chances of getting COVID. It decreases the average amount of harm that arises if you do get COVID, but that doesn't entirely eliminate it, right? So this line of logic could be used against you, right? Because at the end of the day, if people choose not to get the vaccine, all they're doing is increasing the amount of COVID that people in general get, including other people that do have the vaccine, right? Now, are those people with the vaccine as likely to get it as they would if they were to not have the vaccine? No, of course not, right? It does decrease the chances, right? But it doesn't entirely eliminate it, right? So you're still increasing the chances of them getting sick. Now, are they going to die? Most likely not, but you're still increasing the chances quite substantially for certain individuals, right? Like, there's no reason not to get it. I'd like to take this opportunity to tell you that you're breathtakingly beautiful and would make Aphrodite jealous, plus you're a bottom. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, even if you're bullying me because of the bottom allegations.
Whose body, because of immunodeficiency or something, they don't respond as strongly to the vaccine as others. Like, there's innocent people, right? And it's not the dumb fucks that are afraid to get the vaccine.
True, actually. That is true. Yeah. Well, what do you do about the mandates? If someone medically can't get the vaccine and you have these mandates and you force them to, it's like, I worry there's going to be cases where it's like, actually, medically I can't, and they don't have like the right papers or they don't believe that. I mean, but this is a purely hypothetical. I don't think this is a super productive comment. We can move on from this.
All right. Okay. Well, there you go. I mean, I appreciate you acknowledging what you did. Okay. So tell me, what's the story about abortion? Why are you why are you against it? Why are you trying to legislate uteruses?
Yeah, so there's this funny thing happening. I've basically mentioned being pro-life in so many debates, but no one's actually like put me into challenge until now. So it's gonna be good to be like, this finally gonna talk about abortion. So this is the time. I'm pro-life, right?
Okay.
I'm not a feminist. I'm you know, for many reasons. I always felt excluded in feminist spaces. Like, no uterus, no opinion. It's like, that is a transphobic statement. You're saying that
I mean, I see what she's trying to say here, but I think that the reason it's a bad argument is because the validity of an argument is not contingent upon whether or not you have a uterus, right? Like, I don't think that, like, I mean, if let's say there's like a pro-lifer that was born with a uterus, right? There's like a pro-life, whatever, conservative lady who's like, you're not allowed to have an opinion because you don't have a uterus, Femyoz. It's like, well, but you're still wrong, right? Like, the validity of my argument is not contingent upon whether or not I have a fucking uterus. It's fucking stupid.
I, as a woman, can't have an issue on women's issues, and then some fake woke people will be like, well, actually, it's not a women's issue because, and it's like, oh my god, it's cringe. But when it comes to abortion itself, I want to mention the actual topic at hand here. I think that it's just not morally right to prevent an innocent person from living. Now, whether it's murder or not is irrelevant to the conversation, because...
Okay, can you explain how contraception wouldn't be preventing a potential person from living? And how that would be categorically different from terminating the life of a fetus, which isn't sentient or conscious or anything like that?
Regardless of whether it is a life, it is a potential life. By ending that life, you are preventing something from living innocently without its consent.
Yeah, but you'd be doing the same thing with contraception, right? So you would be preventing potential life from occurring, right? Like, if we're talking about, you know, whether or not something has, like, the potential to exist, right? We do things all the time that prevent it, right? Like, again, contraception, perfect example of this, right? That's the thing, is far-right conservatives are actually correct about one thing. And that one thing is that being against abortion but in favor of or indifferent to contraception, these are mutually exclusive. Like, that, they are correct about that.
And I don't think it's ever really justified to do so. It's not a religious argument that I'm coming from. It is just, I love life and I'm consistent in my values when it comes to this. I think that all living beings should have a chance. I think when these like this law in Poland, there was an anti-eugenics bill being like, hey, hold on a second, like, let's not allow mothers to abort their fetuses with Down syndrome that detected. And then like these feminists were like, actually, let us abort our kids with Down syndrome. It's like, oh, you hate you're ableist. You hate people with Down syndrome.
I was about to ask.
No, I think you should be able to abort fetuses no matter what, regardless of whether or not they have Down syndrome. Like, you have to keep in mind that not everyone has, like, the capacity to raise somebody that has, like, a severe disability either. Like, Femyoz, read Kick Chat more. Kick Chat's kind of dead, I think. I don't know, I haven't gotten anything. Who else wants to read Femyoz? Okay. Rose Mulet was a botched abortion. That's why her forehead squishes into her eyes. Holy shit! Oh my god! Oh my god, you're so right. Your lack of a uterus wouldn't stop me from trying to get you pregnant. She was originally a miscarriage, but when they prodded around the womb to fish her out, an accidental electric shock reanimated her like Frankenstein's monster. This argument is irrelevant because they aren't sentient, though. Which argument? Cudio's looking cute and breedable right now. Bro, Kick Chat be like mega horny. Holy fuck. I got Femyoz boy pregnant and now he wants boy child support from me since he wouldn't get a boy abortion. I mean, I'm not really much of a boy anymore at this point, if I'm gonna be real.
Like, no, like, let them live. Like, please. I think that they should be, like, that's so funny. And then they'd be like, oh, well, actually, if they're adopted, you know, they don't get to live the same life. And it's like, what, do you think kids in adoptions don't deserve to live? Do you think kids who are, like, adopted deserve to die? It's like...
Wait, kids that are adopted? Like, as in, like, they already exist, they already alive, they already experience consciousness? Wouldn't that be the symmetry breaker? Is that adopted kids that already exist experience qualia? In fact, if you care about adopted kids, then surely you wouldn't want, I don't know, more people to have to, I don't know, be in the fucking foster care system simply because abortions are illegal and the parents that would otherwise get abortions are not physically capable of providing for a fucking child. Rose understands the struggle of those with Downs because they look identical. When she says it'd be ableist to support a fetus that has Down syndrome. Oh, yeah. That argument would be irrelevant because they're not sentient, right? Yeah, exactly. I love that look on Femyoz's face when she thinks about getting impregnated. Look, I just... I'm not... Alright, let's just continue, okay?
Like, I don't understand any of that logic. None
Do
of it
you
applies for me.
do you eat meat?
Actually, I used to be a vegetarian. From 2012 to 2018, I had a health scare in 2018, and only because of that health scare, my vegan mother, I kid you not, my vegan mother said, Rose, you need to start eating meat again, and I cried when I did. But I was a vegan from 12 years old to 18 years old. So
Okay.
you can't pull that argument on me. I only...
Well,
I
hold
only
on,
started
hold
eating
on,
again
hold
because of
on.
health issues.
Maybe okay, but if the argument is you want to perpetuate life, maybe you are substituting your health for the life of other creatures, right? I'm not saying I agree with this argument. I'm trying to test the logic you're using to be, you know, to take away a significant right that a lot of people rely on.
And did I click at the wrong time? No, you didn't. You're fine. You clicked at the perfect time, actually. Andrew Hacks, welcome to the stream. Damn.
What do you mean? Like, I don't think that pregnancy is super detrimental to the health of women in
No, I
first
didn't
world
say
countries.
that. Your logic was, I don't think you should cut off potential life, right?
Yeah,
not even life.
I know.
So like a cow is actually alive. You're like, not only should we protect cows, but we should also...
Yeah, that's why I don't like the appeal, or sorry, not the appeal, the equivalency being made here. Check Discord. Okay. What's on Discord? I wonder. Kick chat is always like so over the top fucking horny. Oh my god. Petition to kidnap Femyoz and breed him endlessly to repopulate the master race. Oh my god. I'ma do this to you. Oh, interesting. I don't know if... I think I could show that on YouTube. Yeah, I mean, it's literally just food. Am I allowed to show that? I think I can. I mean, it is food, but the context... Yeah, I think I can show it. In case anyone was wondering, this is the attachment I was sent. Apparently, this is what he's gonna do to me. Anyways. Oh my god. 1 second. Do. It's just a donut getting cream pied the same way you're allowed to show. Oh, that's the... Femyoz is the brown kid with a cheap headphone eating what looks like a popcorn or a bag of something. What? Huh? I'm so confused. Anyways, let's continue.
Also protect potential life. So like
Okay,
cells.
hold on.
Like, do you ever clip your fingernails?
Hold on.
Okay.
Let me just. Okay, first of all, when I talk about potential life, I think that
I do kind of like the do you clip your fingernails question.
human life is more valuable than animal life. It just is.
Okay, when we're talking, okay, and what makes humans categorically separate from animals? Because I agree that there's like a spectrum, right? So it's going to be determined by the extent to which life is conscious in terms of like its ability to experience certain qualia, right? Like I would agree with that, right? I think that like for instance, a human is more valuable than a dog, which is more valuable than a rat, which is more valuable than a mosquito, right? Like there's like a hierarchy, right? In terms of like the value of like an individual life. So like I don't disagree with that aspect of it. But if that's the case, what causes humans to be categorically different, right? Like it's not because humans are intrinsically different in terms of because they're human, right? It's because of the consciousness we have, our ability to perceive and experience things in a very specific way, right? That's what makes us special, right? It's not just that like there's some like when you're a fetus, you don't have any of these attributes that cause humans to be categorically different from other species in terms of being more valuable or whatever, right? There's nothing more valuable about a human fetus versus a whale fetus. At least not in its current state, right? You could argue, well, the human fetus has more potential or whatever in terms of being able to become a human rather than become a whale, right? But then you're talking about what it could potentially become in the future, right? But again, you could potentially get somebody pregnant, which causes a life to exist, right? If you don't use contraception, but you might use contraception anyways, which prevents that same life from existing, right? So you would be preventing future life, right? So that wouldn't be the issue.
Right. So I talk about a potential human life. This is
All right. So you're okay. All right. Human life.
Yeah,
okay. Got it. That's fair. That's a fair distinction.
And by the way, I was vegetarian when I was 12 till I was 18. So like, you know, I do care about animal life to an extent, you know, not the same extent, but to an extent I care.
Yeah.
You know, I think living things deserve to be treated well. I think that's fair. Humans also deserve food, but whatever.
So what okay, so like when does a human become a potential life in your mind?
You used it as an example because you can't stop thinking about sperm you bottom. Shut up.
You know, that needs to be protected at the detriment of another actual life. To the detriment of another life.
To the detriment of a conscious life, to be specific.
Well, I don't think it's a relevant question.
Let me breed you.
What I said before, it doesn't matter if it like has a heartbeat or not. It doesn't matter if it's like, if you can tell that this thing is going to eventually become a human being, and your action of abortion prevents.
Okay, what if my jar of cum, or sorry, Chris Chan's jar of cum has the potential to become a human? Does that mean it's valuable? Does that mean that Chris Chan's fucking jar of cum? Because I mean, hell, this is the same kind of logic that led to Chris Chan recycling her own cum in the past. But whatever.
That human being from having the life that it would otherwise live if you didn't take.
We down bad right now in the kick chat reel. Only thing that's gonna be coming is something that will be filling you cutios. Oh my god.
Any preventative action, then yeah, you are purposely. I mean,
so
nobody
can. So what about sperm then? You know, like you have to save your sperm, or you can't masturbate because that's killing potential life.
See, I understand the argument being made here, right?
Polly is absolutely correct here, by the way. Like, this is literally the same argument that I make, just worded a little bit differently.
I murdered all of my.
Good night, baby girl. Give daddy a kiss. Oh my god. I'm gonna go sleep now. Alright, well, good night. I hope you enjoyed your stay. My jar of cum only has the potential to become life if it fertilizes Femyoz. Oh my god.
Sperm. You know, it was a Holocaust. I did not, you know, I transitioned in adulthood. So there was a fucking, you know, ridiculous Holocaust associated. Just so I could live a better life, I killed off millions of potential people.
Yeah. You know, it's so funny you mention this because it's something I actually had to ask myself like years.
This is actually, PollyPeople is actually doing a really good job here, unironically.
There was a fucking, you know, ridiculous Holocaust associated. Just so I could live adult.
Here, right?
I want to replay that.
I murdered all of my sperm. You know, it was a Holocaust. I did not, you know, I transitioned in adulthood. So there was a fucking, you know, ridiculous Holocaust associated. Just so I could live a better life, I killed off millions of potential people.
This is actually a really good way of framing this argument. I am genuinely surprised. I am actually surprised by PollyPeople's ability to construct an argument. When she's not arguing for something that's completely unhinged and indefensible, she's actually not terrible at debate, surprisingly. Rare PollyPeople W? Yeah, I don't even think she's said anything I disagree with so far. We're almost 30 minutes in. I thought it was just gonna be like two retards yelling at each other.
Yeah. You know, it's so funny you mention this because it's something I actually had to ask myself like years ago, and I never really came to a good answer for that. I guess my answer would be like, at some point you got to realize like, okay, if you're gonna ask women to get pregnant every like 18 months or whatever, like maybe that's not like the most reasonable thing to do. Like maybe there shouldn't be like a trillion.
But why not, Rose? You'd be killing potential life. You're preventing potential life from existing. What have you been up to lately, Callie? Not much. Just chilling, playing some Minecraft, doing my thing, doing college shit.
Babies on the planet. But I think if there's one, I think we've come to like once a baby is conceived, once a baby has been conceived, like an egg.
Why? That's so fucking arbitrary. Why is that where you draw the line? It's not sentient by then.
Fertilized. I think that's the point I've officially come to. Because
why?
Anything before that, and it just gets in this weird gray territory.
You don't think it's a gray territory after conception? I mean, you know what?
So what makes it not gray territory after conception, but gray territory before? Why do you? Well, what is the symmetry breaker here?
I think it's pretty clear cut. That's basically a human being. Because before fertilization, it's like 50-50, and there's like.
Okay, again, what makes human beings categorically different from other species? What makes us special? Like, what characteristics are intrinsic to humans that other species don't have, and how would that apply to a fetus?
So many possible thousands or millions of combinations of, like, you know, egg and sperm cells. I think once it becomes the fertilization, like that.
I started injections and they've made my existence so much more interesting. Oh my god, I can't believe you committed a genocide against the millions of potential life. The millions of lives that could have potentially arisen from your sperm. How could you?
That is very clearly, like, not a human being yet, but it's very much on that track, and you have all the DNA there. It's on the process of doing so, left to its own accord. Like, if you have just an egg, and the egg sits by itself, that egg by itself will not become a living being, but once it's fertilized, it will.
Again, this isn't a moral argument. Right? Like, if you have sex by itself, you're more likely to get somebody pregnant than if you actively take measures to prevent a life from, you know, from you're preventing a pregnancy, right? You're preventing potential human life, right? Like, that's what you're doing.
I mean, it seems at least like you recognize that the conception thing is arbitrary. Like you're sort of just picking that out of thin air, essentially.
I think it's where most people can agree to. I mean, there is
no, we don't agree on that. Nobody agrees on that.
I wouldn't say I'm saying your decision to like say I'm pro-life at the point of conception. You're saying you believe that, right?
Yeah, and I think most pro-life people. I mean, obviously, I make exceptions when the mother's like.
Okay, I don't care what most pro-life people have to say. That's not relevant.
in danger because I'm not a monster. Yeah.
I'm asking about okay, but does your opinion about when life starts, does it depend on what your assessment of what most people think?
I think there's a more complicated answer, but if we were to pick a specific point, that seems like the obvious specific point.
No. Why have you decided to pick that specific point? PollyPeople is actually doing a really good job here. Like, genuinely.
To pick. Now, is it a human yet? Probably not. But, like, that's like...
Is it a human yet? No. It doesn't have any of the characteristics that we associate with humans that make us categorically different from other species, right?
The clear, like, start points for a human being. Like, anything before that is just like, okay, yeah, not really. Like...
Okay, but it's okay, but you just acknowledged that it's not a human. It could be a human in the future, but it's not at the point of conception. I mean, it's hard to imagine at the point of conception that you're talking about an actual person, right?
Yeah, exactly, and I've conceded. Like, I know that. That's why I'm saying.
Okay, so then why would you draw the line there?
If you take this thing and you don't interfere at all, and that thing becomes a person without interference, it becomes evil.
Okay, if you don't interfere by using contraceptives, then, or whatever, before you have sex, or you don't interfere with your biology by taking hormones before you have sex with a woman as a trans woman, wouldn't you be interfering with the natural processes that lead to a pregnancy, that lead to a potential human life being born? Again, that's where her line of that's the logical conclusion to her argument.
Immoral at that point to interfere and prevent that human being from living. That's what I truly believe, and I think
by her own standard, transitioning would be immoral.
I think that's pretty fair in my, thinking about this. I've thought about this a lot.
Are you sure about that?
But okay. I mean, let me ask you this: like, what do you mean by interference? Like that thing will not become a life without significant effort and energy expended by the person who's carrying the collection of cells. So I'm not sure your interference argument really means anything.
It happens naturally.
So wait,
so whether or not something is natural is what determines whether or not it's good? Whether or not it's the way something ought to be? Like, again, this is just an appeal to nature fallacy.
Once the egg gets fertilized, it becomes a baby naturally.
Okay.
This is again, literally just like a complete logical fallacy, right? Again, whether or not something is natural is not what determines whether or not it's the way something ought to be, right? Like, something being natural doesn't make it good automatically, right?
Okay, so your argument against abortion is because nature.
My argument is that, like, a living being who would have been born otherwise shouldn't be prevented from living without its consent. Like, that person deserves to be alive.
Okay, well, that theoretical person, that could potentially exist wouldn't be consenting to, for instance, theoretically, it could be the case that I have a biological offspring if I were to not transition, right? I mean, there's a good chance that maybe I would have gotten somebody pregnant, Sometimes I hook up with people. Sometimes I, I mean, I'm just saying, like, it's not very likely, but now it's and it could have been the case that maybe I wanted to have biological kids later, but all I can say is, I'd rather transition, so guess I'm a terrible person because I basically killed the millions of potential lives that resided within my sperm.
I'm not one of these, like, actually life isn't good, death isn't bad. It's like, no, that's stupid. Obviously life is good and death is bad. Like, more people being alive is good. Everyone.
No, not necessarily, right? Like, the quality of life is more important than the quantity of lives, right? So it could be the case that 10 new people exist, but they all live miserable lives where they experience more negative emotions than positive emotions. I would argue that it is, at least in a vacuum, preferable for there to instead be one single person that lives a good, happy life where they experience more positive emotions than negative emotions, right? Now, obviously, it gets more complicated than that once you factor in, okay, well, you know, how does this how would those 10 people impact society? What would it be in comparison without them, etc. And that would ultimately, obviously, like, that would have to be factored into the equation in determining what ought to be the case. But again, it's not intrinsically better to, you know, simply because more people, right? We know that in a vacuum, at the very least, that's absolutely not the case, right? And even in some, what that ultimately means is that there's going to be many instances in the real world where that's also not the case, right? May we see a fit check, please? Did you get a haircut? I did not get a haircut. I don't know. Maybe my hair looks different today. This is my outfit. I kind of already showed it off earlier in the stream. But yeah. I'm tired. I'm like... I'm getting eepy. I'm eepy sleepy.
Everyone deserves to have a chance to live. I think that's one of, like, the most...
I just realized I didn't take my Adderall today. Fuck. Oopsie.
Every person, right? But you're fighting for a collection of cells that you can't even, you know, you can't rightly call a person because of your assessment that somehow it will, if we don't do anything, if nobody puts any effort in to do anything, or if we don't do anything unnatural, that it might become a person, right? It won't. I mean, you certainly can't say it will. I mean,
well,
a lot
it will for like 99. Well, not. I mean, miscarriages happen, but
they
like,
happen a lot.
Femyoz says a smoking hot babe. Why, thank you.
The vast majority. Let's be honest. The vast majority of cases that becomes a person, and you expect it to happen.
Do you know why maternal death is like the lowest it's been in history, though? Because of unnatural medicine, because we don't rely on nature, because we want to keep kids. So like the idea of nature is insane. Right. So it's not about what's natural. You know, it's.
My sleep schedule is worse than usual. Yeah, mine is always bad, so can't say the same, but
Like what you're saying is my morality depends on what's nature.
No, I just think that if you did nothing to, like, the human being would be bored, and if you interfered, like.
Okay. That doesn't make it good? Like, whether or not something is natural isn't what determines whether or not it's good.
Yeah,
you
like
keep saying, you keep ignoring the person who the collection of cells is in as if they're not doing jack shit. Right? You're sort of, see, I can see why you're pro.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. The clump of cells is, the clump of cells existing is entirely contingent upon the actual body that clump of cells actually resides in. Right?
Pro-life is you don't actually imagine there's a person that like carries the child, right? You're like, nobody does shit, it just happens. It just pops out.
No.
What?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. That person doesn't have to do anything. I mean, what, they have to eat and sleep and not die. Okay, I guess that counts, but, you know, that's stuff you would have done anyway. You don't have to put, like, what I'm saying is, yeah, the woman has to maybe suffer a little bit, and that's kind of unfortunate, you know? But it's, like, not...
Wow, if only there was some sort of, like, solution to that. That would prevent the woman from suffering. Oh, if only.
Like, anything that makes, like, preventing a human being from living moral. It's like, oh no, my life is going to be slightly convenienced over the next few months.
Again, a fetus is not an actual human being. It doesn't experience consciousness.
Is that worth killing a person? Oh no, I'm gonna.
You're not okay.
I'm babysitting this 2-year-old. It's
You're not
causing me harm and inconvenience and draining me. Let me kill the 2-year-old. That's such dumb logic to me.
Poison ivy is natural. Doesn't make them good. Yeah, literally. Like, there are a lot of things that are natural that aren't good. So, I don't know what this... Again, there's a reason that appealing to nature is literally just, like, a logical fallacy.
It's like, no, that's never moral to me.
But we're...
Is it immoral because you say so?
I feel like you don't understand the import of your arguments. I'm being very generous here. So do you think killing a collection of cells, if you even want to call it killing, when we know when we can't even argue whether it's a life in the sense of autonomous life, because I don't think either of us think that it is. How can you say it's stupid to be like, that's like killing a 2-year-old? It's dumb to think it's something else. That's fucking...
Yeah, exactly. Like, a 2-year-old would experience qualia, right? Like...
Insane. Of course a 2-year-old is a life that's not the same as just a bunch of cells clumped together.
wait, do you believe that a child cannot consent to sex? Right? A 2-year-old cannot consent to sex,
That's
right?
correct.
So a 2-year-old.
Yeah, but they experience consciousness, right? So that'd be the main categorical distinction there, right? Is whether or not they experience qualia.
Is not the same maturity. A 2-year-old, it's immoral to kill a 2-year-old because that 2-year-old.
It's immoral to kill a 2-year-old because they're a conscious, sentient life form. Right? That's the reason it would be immoral, right? Not to mention the fact that it would invoke a shit ton of negative qualia in terms of you have to keep in mind that like the 2-year-old is valuable to other conscious beings that also experience consciousness, right? So they would also experience negative emotions from that. It would just be all around a net negative, right? Whereas killing a clump of cells doesn't really do that, right? You can't admit that a clump of cells is not a human, but then categorize them as humans whenever it's convenient for your argument. You have to pick one or the other. What's immoral is that I'm not currently putting a baby in Femyoz.
Will become an adult someday, right? You can't just kill 2-year-olds because that's going to become a full-fledged human being. But
well, no, it's because it's a conscious living human being. Period, right? Even if you knew that the 2-year-old was only going to live till 10, it would still be immoral to kill the 2-year-old, right? Like, let's say the 2-year-old had like some sort of like disability or like medical problem, right? And you know that they're not going to live until they're an adult, right? Like, the reason it would be wrong to kill them is because they're a conscious human being, right?
2 years old, that kid's not.
And like they've already established the fact that they are a conscious human being, right? It's not just like a potential conscious human being anymore. It is a conscious human being. It is a human. It has experienced consciousness and it will continue to experience consciousness in the future, right? So even if it's like a person is asleep, right? Or like they're in a coma, right? Like they've already experienced consciousness. They're going to experience consciousness in the future, right? Not to mention the fact that removing them or like killing them, I guess, would negatively impact all of the people that care about them, right?
Not fully fledged, right? If you kill
Okay.
that's not a full adult. We know.
Yeah, but 2-year-old experiences consciousness. Also, don't feel the need to apologize for being less active, Nifty. Because you've been away because you were buying presents for our wedding. I see. It's a cold day in hell when I have to side with Polly. That's because Rose Mulet is an absolute psycho. An absolute psycho, yeah. I can't believe that Polly hasn't even... Polly, okay, I thought that it was gonna be like two retards yelling at each other. Polly is surprisingly reasonable in this. Like, if she's talking to somebody that's, like, dumber than her, like, she can actually do a fairly good job.
Know this as a society.
So when you have a nail, you know, that's getting kind of long, you want to clip it, that's a life that could get bigger and grow. It's not a person, but it is life. It is human life. You can't get its consent. You can't ask your fingernails fucking consent to clip it off, but you do anyway. Why? Because it's not a fucking person. It's just a bunch of cells, right? You'd be like, you're killing a 2-year-old when you're clipping all your nails. You're murdering all the children.
I don't buy this comparison because a fingernail left to its own accord isn't going to become sentient. Like, a fingernail is not sentient. A fetus becomes sentient.
Okay, cum can also become sentient. This doesn't mean it's inherently valuable.
Eventually.
Yeah, eventually. You know, Chris Chan, you know, maybe Chris Chan had the right idea when she used to recycle her semen. Because then it could become sentient.
A fingernail.
I think what you need to do is you need to, if you're a biological male, I think what you need to do to not be a bad person is masturbate as much as humanly possible and collect as much semen as possible, and then like have like just jars and jars of semen, and just have like every single woman you know like just like rub the semen in their vaginas. That's the only way you can live a moral life.
Nail left to its own accord.
It may become sentient.
Femyoz acting like she doesn't value shut up! Fuck you.
Eventually, but why don't we wait then?
The dimensional splurge is upon us.
Why are we? Why? I mean, the problem is this entire like your entire argument doesn't like jizz could eventually become sentient, right? Just because something can become sentient if a bunch of things happen doesn't make it worth protecting. Like at least admit that the at conception thing is arbitrary, so we can go from there.
Well, if you talk about, I think you're talking about male sperm cells. Those cells on its own, they only become sentient if they interact with an egg cell. If you leave it on its own, it does.
Unironically, I think this moves PollyPeople from I think I put her in D tier on the debate bro tier list. I think yeah. I think I put her in D tier. I think I'm moving her up to low, like either high D tier or really low C tier. Or actually, I don't know. I guess being reasonable in one debate is, I don't know. I mean, I guess D tier would be like a normal person can debate like this. So I don't know. I don't know. I think that PollyPeople would be like I don't know, it's still lower than somebody like Demon Mama, but like definitely higher than Rose Mulet. That's for fucking sure.
Does not become a person. And
can I be honest? No, you must lie at all times.
That's a scientific reason why I put the distinction where it is. Now, what I don't like a lot of like pro-lifers, and this bothers me when I see pro-life debates a lot.
Estrogen injections made me so emotional. I had an emotional breakdown and almost converted to Catholicism. My condolences. Holy shit.
Be like, well, actually, you can't kill a baby after like X amount of weeks because it has a heartbeat, or at this arbitrary point that I've decided it is alive now. And it's like, no, you're missing the point.
Well, it wouldn't be an arbitrary point. It would be whether or not they have consciousness, right? So unless you don't value human consciousness, then it's like that would be like the logical point, right? Like you could argue, oh, well, that would be arbitrary. Any point you draw would be arbitrary to an extent, and it's like, okay, I guess you could say the same thing about drawing the line at conception, right? Rather than at masturbation, right?
It's not about if it's alive at the moment. It's like, I know you want to appeal to an emotional thing. It's about a potential life that if done nothing. And that's why I choose the argument that I do. It's not typical of pro-lifers, but I think it's a better argument. At least, maybe I'm wrong, but that's how I feel.
Do you understand, though, when I say that, like you might have an argument if like this collection of cells and adducts as come on polyfingernails and the same as a fetus clump. I'm talking about with, okay, so of course it's not, but if I'm using her logic, dude. All right, so like, the problem is when you say, fuck, I forgot what I was going to say now. The problem is when you say like, it's a, shit, could you say what you said again?
Something about like being a potential life, and it's not the same as like the argument that most pro-lifers make.
Oh, right.
Like, oh, well, this arbitrary, yeah.
Right, okay, so do you want, I mean,
it's quite similar to what other pro-lifers will say, to be honest. Like it's a potential life herder argument. It's a potential life herder. Like that's what they all say.
Seems like your argument hinges on the idea that if we do nothing, then the clump of cells will become life, right? Like we're interfering with something that would happen without any effort by anybody. Yeah.
Whether or not something would happen without or with or without interference is not what determines the. This is fucking stupid. I'm gonna. My brain cells. I'm sorry. They're like disappearing. Can you slip into something that makes you look more like a whore? This isn't a Femboy Friday stream. I'm sorry. I don't look like a whore. I'm sorry.
Yeah, if we don't do anything, that fetus or whatever fertilized egg will become a human being eventually.
Okay. So how do you how do you square that with the idea that one person puts in a fuck ton of effort, like to keep that going? You're like, fuck them, force them to do that just because a clump of cells might at some point, under the right conditions, become a person?
What do you mean under the right conditions though? Like under most like a normal condition that becomes a person.
What would the percentage chance have to be before they become a clump of cells to you worth protecting? Like what are the odds where you're like, okay, that's gonna, we shouldn't fuck with that clump of cells because it's got a 50-50 chance of being a person?
I think I got a dip. Farewell, friend. Goodbye, Hoopty Scoopty. I hope you enjoyed your stay.
Or does it have to be a 99.9% chance?
Well, if there was like a 99% chance there was going to be no pregnancy at all, I don't think there would be abortions, because then people would just not worry about it at all and just be like, oh, this isn't going to become a baby anyway. I don't need abortions. Like, if that was the case and pregnancies were really that...
No. Most of the time when you have sex, you're not getting pregnant, right? But you still use contraception anyway, because what if you did? Right? Because, yeah, you wouldn't want to take that risk. So even if it was the case that most of the time it doesn't create a child or whatever, like, yeah, you still wouldn't want to take that risk. So I don't know what the fuck she's trying to argue.
Rare from like these fertilized eggs, people wouldn't be getting abortions because they'd be like, oh, I don't need them anyway, because they're just going to dissolve and it's not going to be a thing in a few months. So it's like, I don't see that,
So what is the percentage chance of like living where you think it's a clump of cells worth protecting? Is it 50-50 where you're like, okay, I guess we have to outlaw abortions because that clump of cells has a 50-50 chance of living? Or does it have to be more like 99.9% chance of becoming a person and born?
No, I think that there is, and I'll tell you why I give you this answer. I don't think, like, let's say I'm just going to pull a random number, 1 in 10,000 or like 1 in a million, right? In those other 9,999 or 900, I mean, you get the idea. But all those other cases, that doesn't become a human being, and then the tissue, like, it just never develops, so there's no abortion that's needed anyway. So there wouldn't be
This is fucking incoherent. Like, what are... this is what I mean when I say you have to, like... And this is why, like... I don't enjoy debate anymore. It's like... I enjoy watching debates more than I enjoy debating at this point.
a need for an abortion in the cases where that doesn't become a human being. And the cases where it does, then it's like, yeah, you let it be a human. Like,
but you don't know ahead of time. Okay, so like, what I'm saying is, for some reason, you think that a clump of cells is worth saving at the point of conception because it is overwhelmingly likely to become a person, right? And therefore, you're essentially killing the future person.
Well, even if there's any possibility at all, in this case.
Oh, any possibility. Okay, all right.
So she just changed her argument.
All right, well.
It just happens to be that there is a very high possibility. So yeah, I would say any possibility.
Okay, so no more. So like any possibility of the any.
Okay, but what about the case? What about the fact that there was at least some level of possibility that I would have had biological children had I not started transitioning? So wouldn't me transitioning be immoral according to her worldview? Obviously, she's not anti-trans in that regard, but I enjoy watching debates and just watching you in general because you're super cute. Aw, well, thank you.
Any sequence of events resulting in a human life must be protected.
Well, if an fertilized egg in particular led to that, but it's like, that's what I'm saying though.
It seems like birth control is not good either then.
I'm actually not against birth control. And I'd have to sit down and probably think about why I'm not.
Well, yeah, why aren't you against birth control? I mean, it just, you know, it prevents future life from existing.
Because it'd be interesting. I think when you take birth control, I don't know the exacts of how it works, but that's someone deciding before they get...
I'm gonna kiss my new wife Femyoz so much that the number of times I kiss her will be more than the grains of sand on the seashore. Very, very interesting way of describing that.
Pregnant, that they don't want to have a baby before there is a living being, before an egg ever gets fertilized, before any of that process even starts, which is why I'm okay with birth control, and I actually think it should be more accessible and more available. It would suck if that would lead to more babies born, but I can understand why birth control is good, and I support it. You know, I think that's good. You know?
Okay, so why is it okay to unnaturally get in the way of human reproduction that would create more life in a birth control setting versus versus another set, versus like a abortion pill, like the RU46.
To sit down and think about this one. I don't have a full I haven't sat down and really
Oh my god, I can't take any more of this. Oh god. Rose Malay is so fucking stupid. Oh god. I can't do this. I'm sorry. I can't watch the rest of this. Ugh. There's no way. I'm not getting through. I'm not, yeah. 2 hours and 8 minutes. Jesus Christ. Miss Piggy L. Yeah, literally. Oh my god. Ugh. What a perfect place to end. Jesus Christ. So what did we learn today, chat? I think today what we learned is that Rose Malay is incredibly stupid. And that actually, maybe PollyPeople isn't nearly as deranged as I thought she was. Now, do I still think she's a deranged lolcow for falsely accusing me of being a white supremacist Nazi with no evidence? Yes, absolutely. But, I mean, she can hold her own in a debate with someone that's dumber than her. So, I mean, I'm just saying. Like, it's better than I thought she would do. I got cum on my main phone because of you. Nice. I should make sure my phone isn't so close to my cock while I goon to you. Damn. Kick chat be horny, huh? My god. Anyways, smash like if you enjoyed. If you want me to react to more content like this, feel free to let me know. Sorry, I'm like really fucking spacey, I guess. I didn't take any Adderall today, so I'm like, I don't know. Fucking autistic. I mean, I'm always autistic, but I'd smash like, but I'd rather smash you. I mean, these aren't mutually exclusive. They're actually complementary. I'm just saying. Damn, Femyoz, I can see boobs. Booba? Really? Let's go. You can see booba. I don't have much booba, but I'm getting there. See, it's like if you look, I'm starting to. I'm getting a little bit. I don't have much booba, but we'll get there. I want to see booba. I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm wearing a bra, so. I wish I had bigger boobs, but we'll get there eventually. But yeah, if you're wondering, onlyfans.com/Femyoz. But yeah, anyways. I love how I can just do that and get everybody all horny. I'm fucking throbbing over in Kick Chat, of course. I want you so bad, so fucking hot, OMG, let's go. I want to see Booba. You're already smoking hot. You pretty little angel, I love hearing the sound of your voice. Aw, thank you. flushed emoji. So real. Oh man. Damn, I didn't realize I was gonna get all you down bad motherfuckers in chat all worked up. I mean, I should have known. I should have known. Anyways, I will see you all in the next video / live stream. You're getting us all hot and bothered. Aw, are you all hot and bothered? Oh, poor baby. Just gonna say it out loud if you put on an angel outfit and started singing to me. I don't know how. I suck at singing. I'm sorry. I would not be able to do that. I'm not a good singer. You know, maybe one day. And don't blue ball me. Why not? You don't like it when I blue ball you? I'm so fucking hard, dude. Yeah, of course you are. You're in kick chat. Why wouldn't you be? I sent you a singing clip on Discord the other day. Is that? Oh yeah, you did. Yeah, you know how to sing. I don't. I'm bad at it. If this stream gets 500,000 likes, I'll admit to being a bottom. Okay, anyways, I will see you all in the next one. Maybe. Unless I die in a crossfire. Please stream again soon if you can. I'm sad whenever you have to go. Please chat with us. 15 more minutes. Maybe a little bit longer. Not too much longer. I'll have you singing Sweet Mystery of Life, Young Frankenstein reference. Is that so? Is that so? But yeah. Wow. I don't even know. I just... Oh god, I'm tired. I need sleep. I'm eepy. I'm really eepy. It's a problem. Why am I so eepy? I don't want to be eepy. ASMR be like. You can sleep in my bed. Oh, thank you. I don't know if this sounds good or not. I have no idea what this sounds like. I've never wanted something this bad, OMG. My mood can go from 1 to 100 whenever I see you, Queen Femyoz. Aw, thank you. Very much appreciated. I do always appreciate the support that you guys give me. Just so you guys know. Yeah. Anyways. Femyoz must be a communist revolutionary the way she got my lower class rising up. Seriously, post on OnlyFans, please. Okay, I might have to do that. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Anyways. Oh, apparently you can go through, sorry, I'm just looking at Kick. Oh, that's interesting. I wonder why it's saying that. Okay, never mind. You'd be set for your life if you just got a hotel room and charged your fans for a good time. Boy, yeah, it is tempting. I mean, sex sells. I have considered becoming like a sex worker, at least online, like an e-sex worker. Because, you know, I'm like a very sex positive individual. And, you know, I think sex is good. That's my personal. I know, hot take. Sex is good. I like sex. Incredible. Who would have guessed? I'll pay you to be a surrogate mother. Is that so? Why, do you have a mommy kink? Is that what I'm hearing? Would you be calling me mommy? That's what it sounds like to me. I'm just saying. I mean, y'all call me a bottom, but in reality, you just want to call me mommy. It sounds to me like you don't know what a surrogate mother is. I don't. Wait. I assumed it was like surrogate father, but like the other way. Like, mommy caught you going through her underwear drawer. Yo. Did I catch you going through my underwear drawer? OMG, I have to stop the scripts write themselves. True. When you become my wife, I will buy you lots of big yellow flowers, kiss you, take you to my to your favorite restaurants, and call you things every day like queen, doll, love, and beautiful because you are. Aw, thank you. Oh, a surrogate mother is a woman you pay to impregnate to have your baby for you. Oh, I thought it was the other way. I'm retarded. I'm sorry. I don't know why I thought it was the other way. I thought that the surrogate mother would be the one, or it was the one, or no, wait. Yeah. No, the surrogate one would not be the one paying. Sorry, I'm stupid. I'm fucking dumb. I want to get you an Ozma crown. I don't know what that means. I don't know what an Ozma crown is. What's interesting is I say and do a lot of shit, right? And that in the past I would have been like, oh, that's cringe. Oh, why would you do that? But it's like, I'm at a point now where it's like, I just don't care. It's like well, what is the harm? Being a little bit down bad sometimes, you know? Letting your viewers be down bad. Princess Ozma is canonically a trans character from the original Wizard of Oz books. She had an iconic crown. Oh, interesting. Oh, before I forget, I have to tell you a couple things. One is recommending a song called Hair of the Dog by Nazareth. It's one of my new favorite songs. Okay, interesting. Interesting. I did not know that. Sorry, there's a lot of dead air. I'm like fucking Facey. What in the fuck? That is Boet. What? Hey, Femyoz. Hello, Bandit Boys. W. Pronouns. Mostly she, her. But I'm fine with any and all. You look like the girl guy from Mr. Beast. W. Tranny. Nice. Kick chat. Be like... The other thing I want to tell you is that I applied for a job last week. Oh, congrats. We stand a cute EP gal. Yeah, I'm EP. I'm sorry. I'm very EP. W Fagat. W Tranny. Question mark. Yeah, this fucking this fucking I don't know where all these people came from. Who is that on your wall? Oh, that, my friend, is the beautiful bald man known as Bald Martin. He's very beautiful and he's very bald. That's all I have to say on the matter. Kick popping off, yeah, for real. I don't know why. It says there's 2 viewers, but I know that's bullshit because there's more than 2 people in chat. So that's a lie. Suck on some balls for a Twinkie. Epstein on the wall. What? Okay then. What color are your eyes? They are blue, technically speaking. Oh, it just went up to 8. I wonder, maybe somebody probably mentioned me on a stream or something. It's like, oh yeah, who's this Femyoz person? I always get like random influxes of viewers on Kick at like the weirdest times. Also, I just realized that how tall are you? I'm 5'6". Yeah. Kick chat, I get random surges of people. YouTube chat, I get like the consistent viewer base. Thanks, I never had a job before, but I want to try one to save money. And when I move to Japan someday, I'll take you with me, my queen. We can live happily after ever in Japan. Interesting. What would we do in Japan? Anyways. Where was I going with this? But yeah, oh, man. Smash like and subscribe. I was ending stream, I forgot. Yeah, I don't know. What happens if you search my name on Kick? No. You just see me, okay? Nobody puts me in the title on here. Sad. I was either gonna sing you 5'2", eyes of blue, or I'm tickled pink with a blue-eyed baby, so it looks like I'll go with the latter. Yeah, being why did you think I was 5'2"? I'm not that short. I'm 5'6". I'm not short, okay? You're short. You're all short. You're so short. You're literally a midget. Anyways, what the fuck? Oh my god. I'm so fucking tired. Okay, seriously, I'm gonna end stream. I'm an inch taller than you. You're not that much taller than me. Anyways, I'm gonna. I'm really fucking tired. Oh my god.